My name is Eric Wielander and welcome to Windy Tech, a channel all about apps, gear, and automation in the Apple ecosystem. Today, we're going to look at Lutron Caseta and see if it's the best HomeKit lighting system for you. So we all want smart lighting these days, and one of the easiest ways to get it is to go out and buy some smart bulbs, like the Philips Hue system or the LIFX system or a variety of others. But one of the problems is that the bulbs are expensive, and then if you live with people who don't maybe care as much about the smart lighting as you do, they will flip on or off switches by mistake, and then you'll go to trigger your favorite HomeKit scene and you'll realize that half your light bulbs or even just one of your light bulbs is out of commission because someone cut the switch off. And you can get covers for those switches and child sort of safety locks or all kinds of other things, but that might not fit your switch situation. It might also not look good in that particular area, so it's not the most ideal solution. So what if the light switch itself could be the smart part of the lighting, and then you could put any kind of lower cost light bulb into the socket and then just still trigger it remotely just as any other smart light. So that's what Lutron is set out to do with the Caseta system, and Lutron's been making light switches for a while. They're sort of a lighting company that's gone into smart home stuff as opposed to like a smart home or tech company that's gone into home stuff. So the Lutron switches you can get are either a dimmer switch or a regular on-off switch. And the on-off switch allows you to work either a fan or some lights. The dimmer switch, of course, is intended for lights. In order to get these to talk to HomeKit, like a lot of smart home accessories, you need to get the Lutron hub and then just plug that into your network. I have it hardwired upstairs and it works fine. And then it sort of is what communicates with all of the different light switches. And then if anybody turns on or off the light from the switch like normal, it's also that state is updated in the home app and anywhere else you'd be triggering those smart lights from. And Lutron's really made some good attention to detail in certain areas. I really like how they have LED status lights on the side of the switch. Just gives you an idea of what the level is and helps you maybe find it in the dark because these are flat to the wall. They don't really stick out like other light switches might. It also has like a gradual fade when you turn on or off the dimmer. Then it sort of fades the lights down as opposed to just flipping them off immediately. Another nice attention to detail is when you need to change the light bulb, which will happen eventually. You might have some other kind of smart home automations, or people might be doing other stuff in the house that could trigger that light to come on. And from a safety perspective, you don't want that to happen while you're changing the light bulb. So they've built in this little tab in the bottom of the switch you can simply pull out, and then it will override any kind of automations and just keep that circuit off. So far, personally, I've installed two Lutron switches. I've installed a dimmer switch here in my office, and then I've installed a regular switch upstairs, which controls one of our outdoor lights. And while I love having these switches already set up, I think there's a number of disadvantages that are making me wonder how many more of these Lutron switches I really want to put in my home. First off, there's a whole lot of electrical knowledge that you need to acquire in order to put these in. And that really hasn't been that challenging. It's not rocket science. If you've done things like build a PC or something, you can totally understand how circuits work. Just realize that you'll need to invest some time watching other videos on YouTube or tutorials. Maybe, if you don't have time to learn all that stuff, hiring a skilled electrician or other handyman who can help you set it up. Another thing to consider is that every single home, apartment, townhouse, whatever lighting situation is different. You'll need to take some time to learn the intricacies of the circuits in your place, just the details of what's on what circuit, what's connected to the breaker in what way. And if you have things like dual switches where you have two switches in one, is there a way that you can split those out? And that gets to one of my other gripes with the Lutron system is that they've really, for all these years, all they have is one dimmer switch and one regular switch. They make, for non-smart lights, dual switches that have like a fan switch and a light switch in one. I'd love to see them make smart dual switches that can work on two different lights and one switch, especially for some of these slightly older homes like this one. some of those dual switch boxes can be annoying to then have to try and turn that into space for 2 switches if you wanted to make that smart. Another huge disadvantage of the Lutron system right now is that it only works on single pole circuits. So you won't be able to put this in a 3-way switch or a 4-way switch situation. What Lutron gives instructions on how to do is closing off one end of the switch. So at one switch you'd sort of close the circuit so that it's just always on, and then you use it would turn it basically into like a single pull from one actual switch. Then Lutron also sells what they call the Pico remote, which you can put in the other switch box to sort of have a dual switch setup. You can pair as many, there's probably a limit, but you can pair a number of Pico remotes with a single switch. So if you want to have switches to control, say, a set of lights from a variety of different places, if you're willing to invest in buying more Pico remotes, you can totally do that. I'd really like to see, given that Lutron is a lighting company, there has to be a way to make 3-way and 4-way switches work in a smart situation. And it's just really unfortunate that they haven't been able to deliver on that yet, considering that this product has been in the market for quite a number of years now. So the other thing that I really don't like once they're installed is that Lutron switches don't really feel all that premium. You know, that just tapping the buttons and hitting the plastic, the plastic itself just feels kind of shiny and cheap, and then, you know, touching the buttons, the click just doesn't sound very good. You would think that a switch that costs upwards of $50 a switch from sort of a premium lighting company in Lutron, that they would make it be a really great experience, and that every time you hit that button, it just sounds great. Obviously, the goal is that you're triggering it from other things other than hitting the switch, but again, that hardware and tactile experience just doesn't feel like a $50 switch to me. The beauty of HomeKit, though, is that you can try out Lutron, you can have a few Lutron switches maybe where it makes sense, and then you can have other systems like Hue or LifeX or others in other places of your house. I've done a review previously on this channel about the Hue light switch as well, which is complete remote control. It doesn't, you know, hook into any circuitry, but that can be used as a way to sort of make Hue lights a little more palatable for other family members who just want to be able to turn on or off lights with a switch. I think Lutron switches could be a great option for you, but just realize all of these downsides up front. Subscribe to this channel if you aren't already for more videos about apps, gear, and automation in the Apple ecosystem. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful. It really does make a difference. Leave a comment below if you've tried Lutron Cassetta, have opinions on it, thinking about it. You can start a discussion down there. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.